Good morning, church. My name's Chris. I'm going to be bringing you the daily devotional today. As some of you may know, I work in a drug and alcohol rehab, Christian based. And when I came in this morning, it's Monday, as often happens on a Monday, one of the guys came to see me. He was quite stressed, he was quite anxious, quite worried. And I let him speak for about half an hour, and then I asked him the question that I usually ask someone who comes to me in that state. I said, "How's your prayer life?" And he answered, as they use 9 times out of 10, as they usually do, in that I could pray more, I should pray more, I could find more time, which reading between the lines usually means he's not praying at all or very little. And I encouraged him that prior to him coming in to my office, I've been reading in 2 Chronicles 20, where Jehoshaphat is told that the Moabites and the Ammonites and the Mennonites are coming to make war against him. And in verse 3 it says, "Alarmed, Jehoshaphat resolved to inquire of the Lord." Now, it didn't say he was full of peace. It says he was alarmed, as you would be. But the first thing he did was not go out and text someone and tell them his woes. He didn't speak to his mum. He didn't ask the Chancellor for more money so he could employ more soldiers. The first reaction was to resolve to inquire of the Lord. And so often it's not our first reaction as Christians, where it should be. So often as Christians we view prayer as a spare wheel almost to get us out of trouble when we've got a flat. Whereas in reality it should be a steering wheel to guide us through life. And if you read about the great men of God of the last couple of 100 years, you'll notice that they all have one thing in common. They all prayed a lot. Martin Luther said that I have so much to do today that I must spend the first 3 hours in prayer, on his knees in prayer, because he recognised he had so much to do. And I think as Christians we sometimes we can suffer from stress and anxiety and lack of trust because we're not spending that time on our knees in prayer. I once heard someone say that if you meet a Christian and his Bible's worn out and the knees of his trousers are worn out, then I guarantee you he will not be worn out. And I'm speaking to myself here that I need to spend more and more time on my knees in prayer, because I haven't got the answers. How can I trust someone that I don't fully know? How can I trust God if I'm not communicating with him? How can I rely on him if I don't speak to him? So today, tomorrow and the next day, we should be like Jehoshaphat, that when things come against us, that the first thing we should do is recognise we can be alarmed, we can be scared, we can be fearful. But beyond that, the first thing we do is get on our knees in prayer.